Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Age of Wonders 4. And in the bottom left, we've got Wicked Whiskers working on art. And meanwhile, we are also using the TF Talkies, because it's TF Tuesday. So you can transform me live here on stream. Let's go ahead and get into the game. We're currently playing through with the Fire Dogs and Razor in order to have him not be so demonic. Because that does not fit the character at all. Razor is very anti-demon. But we are currently just sending troops around, trying to get our armies situated a bit. We do have a threat up here. This guy is absolutely going to be declaring war at some point soon on me. I'm sure it'll be... Okay, it won't be fine. But we'll deal with it. The main problem is just the fact that I am, my troops are a little ways away. Pet pet the Dio.
Yee! Boy, boy.
Oh, don't tease the poor Ian like that. He can't switch to his Dio form yet. Or his Weevil form.
Boy, boy, boy.
He's a little busy.
Haha, boy, boy.
He is wheezy, yes.
Easy.
Easy, wheezy, cover bree.
What?
You heard me. Ah, we can finally integrate Sprite Tree. Which is going to wind up being basically dismantled. Because Firestone and Hearthfire are going to be able to meet in the middle here, so we don't really need a city here. Oh, there's a new wonder. Neat.
Oh.
Continue your marches. Pet the weasel.
Wee wee!
Boy.
God, you are so adorable.
Master!
What?
I can't be adorable all the time!
And yet somehow you are.
Eh. But just... How?
Ah, Sunwing wishes to join. Yes, we will recruit you. Oh, he's got one of these. Okay. You are always initiative material. Still waiting for people to recover.
May I change my breather form, Master?
Yes, you may. Good boy for asking.
Wee wee!
Yes, the boss is here.
I'm not the boss!
Alright, we're gonna leave you there to guard for now. Oh wait, actually. Having you for taking on this temple might be a really good, very useful thing. Because I do want that wonder as well. So, come along, Durgan! And you join that army. And intern. As Geeman says, we buis never forget who our bui boss is. Isn't that right, Werney?
Oui.
Bui.
I dislike you. We're gonna move our troops back and be prepared to fight. Oh, you're gonna go attack them, aren't you? Oh, they didn't. Cool. Safe battle. Oh, God, that did a lot of damage. Well, I guess my troops are gonna be sitting over here recovering for a while. Again. We'll go with farm there. And we'll give you a quarry there. Yeah, I'm not sure how that guy did so much damage to my troops, but, oh well. I'm sure, the boss could explain.
I'm not the boss master.
What do you mean, boss?
I'm not the boss.
It looks like Whiskers is wanting to do a sticker sale.
Oh?
Like Telegram stickers.
I'd get some of those.
Well, let me figure out some details real quick. But Whiskers likes to have stickers to work on, so.
Uh,
Alright, I have posted the details in ZGF art for you guys, so if you would like those stickers, let me know.
so it'll be $16 times 5, correct?
Yes.
Got it.
Of course, that's right above the boss boy.
I'm not the boss!
Oh, hey there, Pikash. Sorry,
Hey, Pikash.
messaging with Whiskers right now, guys. Alright, I do need details on what you want there, Wernie.
Yep, I'm typing them up now.
Okay. Anybody else want some stickers while I'm working on this? I know, Ren, you were talking about it.
Hmm?
Added some stickers.
Oh, right now I'm just thinking because I have to get more new RAM sticks first. That's my main focus right now.
That's fair.
Which is why I'm going to Micro Center tomorrow. Because I do not want to buy the wrong RAM sticks for my motherboard. You know, being all compatible and all that, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, sent ideas for both stickers.
All right. Yeah, those will work. Send the invoice.
You dope.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna do, Prakash. I'm gonna write down the Mega model board and just go to Micro Center. Hey, this is what I have. What works for these RAMs? That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Yes, I'm replacing all the RAM. Since the two sticks only give me 32 gigabytes, I need 64 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm probably gonna need two 32 gigs back. Get the RAM of each. Yep, need. Remember, I'm a streamer with VTubing. They take a lot of RAM.
Yeah, Pakesh. Just because it works fine for you on 16 does not mean it works for everybody else.
Yep. My motherboard only have two available sticks.
I know I myself, I'm currently running with 64 gigabytes of RAM.
And
At
that's what,
this
yeah.
time, I am using 75% of that RAM.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot. Even without streaming, I'm already using 50% of my RAM right now. So, yeah. that's why I'm going to Micro Center tomorrow to get more RAM. Yay. Probably better RAM than the one I have right now, because these RAM sticks I have, they're old. How old are they? I don't know. They're old.
Alright. Do I have the capability now? Says I do. Low risk. Alright.
Yay!
Fight! And victory without a single loss. Ah yes, use the scroll to summon and control a unit of true evil origin. A dire penguin.
And I am not buying a new graphics card this year, since I'm hearing the new generation of graphics card is gonna pop up anytime soon. The 50XX, whatever they're gonna call it now. I have a 3080 Ti, and I'm completely happy with that. I didn't need a 40XX for that. For the jump. It was not worth it. Who knows, Pakash? Oof, that sucks, Pakash. Yeah, Gib Gab, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. See, the problem with that Gib Gab, I don't know Ryzen's GPU's names. I do not understand them.
To be fair, I don't think anybody does.
That's why I always pick NVIDIA, like, oh, I understand this. But I look at Ryzen's, I'm like, what? What the heck am I looking at?
Gib Gab, this might be something that would be better if you got on voice to explain.
Okay, but just because I I think this is very simple, and it's actually NVIDIA has been very guilty of overcomplicating it way too much this generation. I'm gonna start. I pulled the audio of this. There we go. Now I can actually hear these. Okay, hi.
Hello.
Okay, so they all do funky things with the namings, but basically the last couple of generations works off of so it's the RX. The first number is the generation, so 6, 7,000 series, 5,000 series, and so on. The newer the newer the GPU. So the higher the number, the newer the GPU. The 7000 series is the most recent one. They're probably moving on to the 8000 series next year. Normally, they have 5 or 6 different SKUs. So it's the 7500, 7600, 7700, 7800, and the 7900. This generation, they skipped the 7500 because it didn't sell too well, so they renamed it the 7600. And they kind of play funky things with their names. But for this current generation, it's the 7600, the 7600 XT, which is better basically. So it's the 7600 took the place of the 7500. 7600, 7600 XT, 7700 XT, 7800 XT, 7900 XT. And they made the 7900 XTX, which is just a better version of the 7900 XT because it has an extra X and a bunch of other stuff internally that actually make it a better card.
So XTX just kind of like is the same way that, let's say, 3080 Ti at the end.
Sort of. So this generation, the only reason they released the XTX is just because they needed to be a bit more competitive with NVIDIA, because otherwise they would have kept it similar. But normally the way they worked is RX is the GPU. So that's like RX number, that means it's a GPU.
Okay.
So you have the RX, then the GPU's number. So usually what they kind of tended to do is they would go like, for example, a 7600 would be like a 4060, and a 7600 XT would be like a 4060 Ti. But they gave up on that in this generation for some reason, so everything is just an XT, except for the 7600, which is their worst GPU. It's kind of terrible, don't buy it.
I mean,
it's not worth it. It's only useful for laptops.
If I'm gonna get a new GPU, I'm gonna get one of the higher ends. I have a 3080 Ti, so that should say a lot right there.
And if anything, all right. So here's NVIDIA's naming scheme. Now I'm organizing it, but if this wasn't organized, you wouldn't be able to tell what is what. All right. So we have the GeForce RTX 4060. So all of them are GeForce RTX. I'm skipping the RTX part. I'm just gonna do the numbers. So you have the 4060, the 4060 Ti, the 4070, the 4070 Super, the 4070 Ti, the 4070 Ti Super. They deleted the 4080 with 12 gigabytes, and they just call it the 4070 Ti. That's what they did basically. But then they released the 4080, the 4080 Super, the 4090, and the 4090D, which is a Chinese exclusive version of the 4090. So we ignore that. And at least to me, right? Their naming schemes are usually pretty intuitive. You know, you have the for example, the 4070, and then the 4070 Ti is kind of like the better version.
Exactly.
I don't know what they did with the 4070s, because they have a 4070, a 4070 Super, a 4070 Ti, and a 4070 Ti Super. You tell me what the difference is, like, instinctively with the namings.
I mean, when you have a 4070 Ti and then 4070 Ti Super, if I see those two together, like, oh, that might be the better version of 4070 Ti or the 4070 Super.
And that's where it gets complicated, because the 4070 Super was kind of like the refresh for the 4070, and the 4070 Ti Super was like the refresh for the 4070 Ti. But normally you would have the 4070 and the 4070 Ti as the refresh. But no, they just decided to flip over their naming scheme for some reason. It annoys me greatly.
Oh no, it annoys the techs. The techs are very annoyed by that too. You're not the only one.
Just why? You had a perfect naming scheme and it was completely legible. It's like these companies go out of their way to make their naming schemes as confusing as possible just to get you to buy the wrong GPU, so you'll buy another one because you bought
That's
the
the
wrong
purpose.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the purpose of it.
You know, the well,
Honestly-
yeah, I mean, obviously the Xbox One came first out of all of the Xboxes, right?
You know what? At least I have a little bit more respect for what was clearly the initial attempt to just start a new naming scheme of like Xbox One, Xbox 2, Xbox 3. Because if you're gonna do like a naming scheme rehash, you just go with it, you know? But then they I don't know what's the latest Xbox name? The Series X? They threw that out the window as well. It's like, why? 'Cause to me, that was the intuitive reason it made sense. You have the Xbox 360, and then if you realize that the name is kind of funky and you want to start a new long-term naming scheme, Xbox
So-
1, 2, 3.
So, going on track of the RAM, what does a RAM speed even mean? I do not understand that.
Okay, so for the most part, you kind of don't worry about it. What you want to worry about is your CPU and the supported RAM speed. Um, for most intents and purposes, unless you have something that particularly matters of RAM speed, in your case, like if you're unsure, then you probably don't need to worry about it. What you want to look for is first of all, what model of RAM. So there's DDR3, DDR4, DDR5.
DDR4.
You're looking for DDR4.
Yeah, I know that for sure. DDR4.
Okay. What CPU do you have?
CPU?
Mhm.
Hold on, I don't know off the top of my head right now.
No worries. You can always task manager it.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Hell yeah. Task manager is my favorite video game.
You know what? I'm just gonna copy this and paste it to you.
That works.
I'm not sure what information you need, so I'm just gonna give it to you all.
That works.
Here
If
you
want
go.
a particular one, just the CPU's name. Yep, it's a i9 10850K. So normally different CPUs, quote unquote, like different kinds of RAM and different amounts of RAM. So here, your CPU is made for up to 128 gigabytes of DDR4 2933 memory. Usually, what we call like memory speeds. RAM runs at a generally lower speed than is advertised, and then it sort of gets overclocked, so to say. So that's like perfectly normal. A lot of times what happens is, for example, you get sold RAM that's supposed to run at 2666 or 2993, and it gets boosted up to 3200, 3600 megatransfers. The RAM has like a sweet spot depending on the CPU where it likes to run. So I believe for this one it'll be between 2933 and 3200. So you don't really want more than 3200 RAM. If
So that's
Fetch, if you come join voice, I will happily do that.
wait, what?
what?
Don't worry
I'll
about
tell
it.
you.
Anyways, so 3200 is where I should have my limit, right?
Let me back.
Arr.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
we finally got Fetch in here.
Just here.
All right. Well
How's
then.
it going?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gib Gab. Happy birthday to you.
I want you to know that I appreciate it. But I kind of got blushy, so I started laughing, and I was drinking water. I just want always. Thank you.
I can feel how red you are.
Shut up.
Excellent.
This is easy.
Also, Fetcher's a good boy.
How dare?
So, should I give the tech the CPU and the motherboard then to make sure I get the right RAM?
The motherboard doesn't matter that much. It's mostly the CPU for the RAM speed. As long as your motherboard can support the amount of RAM, you're good.
Okay, yeah.
But
And it does, I checked.
what you'll most likely find is 3200 RAM. You don't really need to worry about the CL numbers or whatever. You mostly just worry about the mega transfer number. So that's normally going to be 2933, 3200, 3600, 4000 for really late DDR4. I would probably stick with the 2993. If you just get sold 3200, you can probably underclock it in the motherboard BIOS settings. Shouldn't really be that much of a problem. I bought RAM that's like 6000 and my CPU supports like 5200. And when I try to run it in 6000, my computer crashes, so I just run it at like 5600. And then I updated the BIOS and it works at 6000, so go figure anyway.
Isn't that why it wasn't turning on in the beginning?
It was
Right.
something else. I was pressing the wrong power button on the case. I thought it was a power button, but it was just the LED button.
Well, thank you, Azure.
So I should hand them my CPU then to make sure I get the right RAM then.
Give them the CPU and the motherboard, and they'll probably be able to do it. Because they'll probably check the motherboard just in case.
Yeah.
But CPU, motherboard, and just tell them you need 64 gigs.
Yes.
If they try to go like, no, you need to buy like 4,000 mega transfers per second, like 4,000 megahertz RAM, 64 gigabytes.
I'm going to Micro Center. They're very good at not overselling.
I know because I love them. I've gone there, but just in case.
Okay.
Just you never know.
Now if I go to like Best Buy, then I'll probably be more worried.
I wouldn't be. You're gonna get a Best Buy player. You're gonna be like, "Can you help me with my RAM?" And they're gonna look at you. What's RAM? I appreciate Best Buy, but I hate them.
Best Buy is for those people who doesn't know any tech at all, and that's where they go.
I mean, I'll give them credit. Best Buy is like simultaneously terrible for the average person, but like if you know what you're looking for, their open box like sales I think are amazing. Like the fact that I can just go there and get like $300 off a laptop that's like normally very expensive just because like, oh look, we opened it, like looked it over, made sure it was fine, and then closed it. Yeah, please, I'll take $300 off. You got a like 2-month guarantee? Okay, I'll take it. I'm not gonna complain about that. Just if you need to do a Best Buy tune-up, you know, I mean, I won't advertise my services because I don't have anything. But what I'll advertise is just look up on YouTube how to do a Best Buy tune-up because you're gonna be able to do it quicker and you're gonna be able to do it faster and you're not gonna get bloatware installed on your computer.
Or I just go to Micro Center.
You really like Microsoft, but the problem is Microsoft is somewhere like 20-something of them. The one near me opened recently. And opened after I bought my computer. And every time I see the deals at Micro Center, I'm like, I really wish I'd have waited, but I don't regret waiting, but I really wish I had waited.
There'll be one.
See, I have a Micro Center right about like 10 miles from me. So it's like, I'll just go there instead.
Yes.
Like ever since I moved to my place and realized that I have a Micro Center, like ah, I don't have to worry about parts anymore.
Alright. I tried to apply, but they never responded to my application to work there, and I was like, dang.
You probably get a lot of applications, so.
Oh yeah, they literally just recently opened. That's why I don't hold it against them. I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
I could have worked there, and I would have been like, hey, time to build a new computer. But like fetch. Okay, look, all I'm saying, Fetch, is if you need any clue, because I know there's no Micro Center in Australia, if you're gonna build a computer, you could probably save like $200-300 just building it at Micro Center.
Oh, like, I remember you talking about Micro Center so many times.
I'm not surprised.
I'm very much aware.
Because like they were opening one near me. How could I not talk about it? Oh my god, the fact that I paid like $400 for my CPU, my motherboard, and my RAM, and I'm just looking at like a motherboard that's a few different SKUs better than mine for exactly $400 because it's worth like $580 because they jacked up the price of this motherboard.
When I move, I'd have to go to either Chicago or Minneapolis. They're the closest ones.
Chicago's a nice city. It's expensive, but it's a nice city. If they gotta look like, because I really want it, I actually really probably would someday love to like visit, because I'd love to consider moving there, because I heard it's really walkable, and my sister and cousin like went there once, and they were like, yeah, no, you'd love the city. I like my cousin got there, parked her car, ended up like not renewing the lease, and it's just like, yeah, I live without a car, this is perfect. I saved so much
Oh,
money.
hells yeah.
I'm like, I want. Imagine just paying like $20 for a bus fare and never paying a car now. And mind you, $20 a year
That's not bad.
per month. I don't know, either a month or a year. I don't care. Just $20 a month I pay on gas twice a month, every 2 weeks. Oh god, one second. My ears are still like really hot. I'm gonna take out the headset for a moment.
You good there,
Who, me or Master?
Gabby?
No, sorry. It's just that when I like kind of get a little flustered, my ears get really warm, and when my ears get really warm, I get really warm. Is why I hate people messing with my ears.
Aww,
Adorable.
My
that is
ears are
very
like
adorable.
ears probably the headphones because these headphones are cold. Normally the thing, the phone is like it gets cold in my room, and then I put them on, and it takes a couple hours for them to get warm, but they're like already instantly warm. I'm just gonna go back to playing my ant game.
So, you said that Ryzen's better than Nvidia, right?
Contextual. I think they have better offerings for the price. Like the 7800 XT, for example, is a banger GPU for about. You can usually get it for about 450 on sale nowadays. 400 if you get really lucky, and it's about the equivalent of a 4070 Ti, give or take. It's hard to draw the exact comparison, but like the point of reference is when a 4070 was worth about $600, the 7800 XT was arguably better. Like it was faster at rasterized performance. I don't know if you know the particular between rasterized and ray tracing.
And if you don't, you're about to find out.
Shut up. Basically, ray tracing is the fancy lighting thing that NVIDIA does with all of its GPUs. So the reason they're called RTX is because they became ray tracing capable. That's what RTX stands for.
Mm.
And
I don't think they know how to spell capable. Doesn't start with an
Welcome
X.
to the hamlet.
capable.
Hey there, thanks for the follow. By the way, is it Regine? Or am I mispronouncing that entirely?
So, Gab, I was actually looking at GPUs earlier today because I want to buy an upgrade before the prices go up. Which one should I buy? I have a 1660 Ti right now.
What's your price range or your budget?
I'd say like 500 probably. It's the most I want to spend.
The main thing I'm always going to recommend with GPU recommendations is the first thing you have to look at is if any software you run will either run better with one or the other or requires one or the other. So for a lot of people who stream, I used to recommend NVIDIA more because it used to be a bit more reliable for streaming. But I think recently AMD has made better advances in their drivers. And I haven't encountered any issues with it so far in OBS on my side. I have a friend who also does some streams, and she hasn't encountered any issues on that. So I'm becoming more confident recommending AMD's GPUs. For 500, I think it's really hard to beat the 7800 XT. That's the one I have. It hasn't given me any issues at all.
Rajin? Oh, okay.
And it's pretty fast.
Okay, I just want something to run VR better and be able to stream VR.
For 500, the two best options you're going to get are the 4070 and 7800 XT. I think, personally, I consider the 7800 XT to be better than the 4070. Because in particular, what it does really well is it has 4 gigabytes more VRAM. It's 16 gigabytes instead of 12.
By the way, everybody, real quick, go check out Rajin. They are a streamer as well.
Oh,
Follow.
So hit that heart button at the top of the chat there, everybody. Go check him out. From what I understand, they do it on weekends, you said?
It's a hard button because they're.
yep, same here. See, when I buy a new GPU, I saved around like $1,000, $1,200 for it.
Yeah.
Because I want to get the,
That's fair.
the big
I mean,
one.
You bought your 3080 Ti during like probably the tail end of the GPU shortage, right?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, the good thing is for about $1,000 right now, you can get a lot more GPU than you could a few years ago.
Yep, yep.
It's the
Actually, if I remember correctly, I bought this GPU because it was on sale.
I'm not surprised. The 3080 on sale for $1,000.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so expensive.
I would never spend that much on a.
Hey, I had the money, and I was like, I want to play these games in high quality, not high quality, high settings, the extreme settings, as people, as the gamers, as the games start calling it.
That's fair. Yeah, for $1,000 exactly, you can get a 4080 nowadays. But I think I would say the 4080 of this generation is more powerful than the 3080 was for its generation, like relatively speaking.
Yes, 4080, but I have 4080 Ti. I mean 3080 Ti.
No, yeah. I think the 4080 is not only faster than the 4080 than the 3080 Ti. It's like more faster relative to its generation.
Oh yeah.
Because I would say if you're buying expensive, I mean the 4080 and the 4090 are ripping fast. Like they're really hard to beat. Even like I am a big fan of AMD's pricing this generation. So to give the example, the 7900 XTX, from what I can tell, is arguably faster than the 4080 for about the same price, or even slightly cheaper than the 4080. The 4080 Ti, I mean, is a monster. But it's also worth like what? The 4080 Ti is what? $1,200?
See, that sounds about right.
Yeah, $1,200. It's expensive. 4080
But-
Super. I'm sorry, we don't call it Ti.
The reason why I'm not buying one this generation is because like the games I'm playing right now, they're good enough.
Yeah, you probably don't need one. For a 3080 Ti, you're comfy still.
Yeah, I'm very comfy.
The right now I think best value you'd get is $400 to $500 range for AMD's cards. If you're looking to push it a bit higher tier, 4,000 4070s would be like the next price point. It's really uncomfortable because like on the cheaper side of GPUs, you kind of get shafted. They're all kind of terrible,
Yep.
or they're too expensive for their price.
Yep.
Like, they're terrible for the price. Yeah. Around the $400 to $500 range, it actually feels kind of comfortable now. The 7700 XT and the 7800 are both really good cards, and the 4080s on sale you can find them for about 500 exactly. The 4070 on sale you can find them for 500 or 4 exactly.
If I said like 4080, you mean 4070, right?
Yes. I was staring at the D8 number, the 7800 XT. And if you're looking like towards the $1,000 range, the 7800 XTX is pretty fast. And if you're looking on that like middle point, and this is what I find funny, the 7900 XT, which is like above the 4070s, below the 4080, is basically priced at about a like 4070 Ti Super. That's like the competitor to the 4070 Ti Supers, the 7900 XT, which is an insanely good card.
But is it worth it though?
For $700-ish? Yeah. Like
No, for switching from for the graphics card I have to that one.
No, I'd stay with yours. If you're comfortable, I am not a big proponent of like look for the value unless you need it. Like if when you feel the need for it, do switch because you're gonna get better offers for the generation you're looking at than anything else. So like let's say you manage to last with the 3080 for this next upcoming 5000 series generation. Like you're still doing fine. Maybe on some games you don't run it on extreme, maybe you run it on like good setting, on ultra settings instead of extreme.
Yep.
You push it another generation. And when the generation after that releases, when the 5000 series cards or AMD's cards, or if Intel releases an amazing card out of nowhere, when those prices fall because people are buying the new cards and they're selling their old cards, you can yoink one for really cheap. Or if it turns out the new series of GPUs is insanely good and we get like the 6000 series is insane, you buy one of those and bam, you're set for another few years.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing. I'm just waiting like maybe this 550 how do I say it?
For NVIDIA's?
Yeah, 500.
5080.
5000, 5080, yeah. If the 5080 is really, really good, I'm probably gonna get it, but I'm just waiting.
I mean, even if it's good, I'd say just wait until you need it, because then you're waiting for the 5080 Ti release, or the 5080 Super, whatever they're gonna name it.
True,
I don't know what
true.
they're gonna name it anymore.
I'm just like,
You can buy a 7900 XT for $650.
yeah, because the reason why we're at the end of this generation of GPUs.
I know. It's just like, you know how much VRAM a 7900 XT has?
No.
It's 20 gigabytes.
What?
Yeah, the 7900 XT was AMD's highest tier card, and the XTX is like the beef up to that card. But because the 7900 XT just got out competed by the 4080 at its price point, they've just been dropping it in price to get rid of stock. Because people don't want a 7900 XT, they buy the XTX. But like, because they keep dropping it in price, it just becomes a better and better offer. This card released for like $800, and it's worth $650 now. It's insane. What? How much is a 4070 Ti?
Oh God, what have I done? What have I done?
Oh, you've set Gib-Gab off on a rant. It's very
Oh,
common.
no.
Also, fetch Q.
That's right. I'm now looking at power supplies.
What have I done?
Chaos. Yeah, okay, there's
Yeah,
your point of reference.
I did my RAM test and it was fine.
Good boy. Yeah, man, I just check your PSC. That's the only thing I can think of that would be causing your computer crash.
But yeah,
Or maybe your BIOS being updated or needing updates.
that's why my computer starts to crash too, because like when I start doing VTubing, have all these tabs open. Yeah. My RAM didn't like that.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
So it's like I've been looking into it, like, yeah. No, that's a high number for my RAM. Okay. Now I know.
Oh, and that was the other thing I want to mention. That it also depends on the use case for RTX and rasterization. So RTX being like NVIDIA's fancy lighting features. So in case you're curious, the way we do lighting in games and shadows is we fake it. We're really good at faking it.
Yeah.
So the way lighting works in real life is you have a light source and it bounces off like uncountable number of light rays off of everything, and everything bounces off of itself, like off of each other, until it reaches your eyes. That's why like sometimes colors get distorted, or why we perceive certain colors certain ways, because it all influences each other. And this is what matters a lot in lighting in the games into making it look good. The way light diffuses and affects, for example, your skin is very different from the way it'll affect like a solid wood desk. And getting that right is very, very hard and takes a lot of effort. Ray tracing essentially says, okay, but what if we try to simulate lighting in a realistic way? If I said, like, for example, a light bulb, what if I bounce millions of rays of light across objects all around the room? And all I have to do is make sure that the settings for the object are made in such a way that the light will reflect from it realistically. So that's where you would like change the settings on, like, for example, the texture of the skin or the wall or such, to make sure that the lighting behaves realistically. So instead of faking like shading masks and lighting artifacts and stuff, you just like simulate realistically how lighting behaves. The reason we don't do that normally is because it's very hard and very performance intensive, and it requires a lot of math. And the point of ray tracing is that you dedicate hardware in a GPU to be able to do specifically this. Hence why older cards can't do it. They literally don't have the hardware to be able to do it. And that's what we refer to as like ray trace performance. Rasterization is more typical normal game lighting. It's what most games do. So for most people, rasterization performance matters more because most people run rasterized performance. If you go to a game and you specifically enable ray tracing, or you make sure ray tracing is enabled, you'll see a difference in performance. Like, you'll usually actually see your performance drop quite a bit because it's just that much more taxing. The problem is, On lower tier cards, like on a 4060 and a 4070 sometimes, it's really hard to get good RTX performance because it's just really demanding. You'll often have to tone down your game settings and run it at RTX. Or you get a really good, really expensive GPU that can run it really well. And that's where most of the time people go for a 4090 or 4080 because they want really good ray trace performance. But if you go for like a middle budget GPU, like a 7800 XT, a 4070 of the variant, you're usually going to run it rasterized. And this is where it gets interesting. If you want to run ray trace performance, I would recommend a 4070 because the 4070 is faster at ray tracing. If you want to run a rasterized game, or if you're just going to worry about rasterized performance, I'd recommend the 7800 XTX or the 7800 XT for games because the 7800 XT is faster at rasterized performance than the 4070. And so there you get your little bit of nuances. There you get your like, kind of depends on your use case. Or the 7800 XT has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, the 4070 has 12. For me, the VRAM has come in very handy with the way that I set my game settings because I crank up my memory usage and that allows me
Yeah,
to do
I'm
things.
actually currently between, do I get the 4060 Ti with 16 gigabytes of VRAM or the 4070 with 12 gigabytes?
4070. VRAM is important, but the 4060 Ti can't effectively use the 16 gigs of VRAM the way the 4070 can use its 12.
Okay, then I'm gonna buy the 4070.
Yeah, that's what I would recommend. I will show for my beloved 7800 XT because I love it, but the 4070 is.
Also, should I trade? They're offering me $61 for my 1660 Ti. Should I trade it in?
You'd have to look at your local secondhand market to see what you can get for it.
Fuck, I don't give a shit about that. I'm just gonna give the $61. Otherwise, I'm not gonna worry about selling it myself, and it's just gonna sit in a box here.
That's fair.
Although I think I would look into the 4070 Super just in case, because it's a little bit more of a beefier card. If you're gonna get the $61, you can probably reach for the 4070 Super on sale. Right now, it's worth $600. If you wait for it to go on sale for like $50 plus the 61, you'll reach it with your budget, and that's what I would probably go for. I mean, 4070 is fine. Super is just a little bit faster. It's just also a little bit more expensive. I say like $100 isn't a lot.
For a graphics card, no, it's not.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I also genuinely think the market for graphics card prices is so damn inflated, and it really needs to come down at some point because everything is so expensive for graphics cards, especially for the lower end graphics cards. It's obnoxious.
That's why I don't even look at the low graphics card because for the price they're asking for this graphics card, it's just it's not worth it at all. It's just not.
Because that's the problem, right? So to give my favorite example of this, have you seen Intel's cards?
Intel graphics cards?
Intel made graphics cards in the last during the middle of the GPU shortage. Intel was like, you know what? Let's make GPUs because Intel doesn't rely that much on TSMC. That's Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. They don't rely that much on TSMC for their hardware. So the idea was Intel would get a big batch of GPUs from TSMC and then transition to producing the GPUs themselves. And so if there's ever, for example, something that happens in Taiwan that disrupts global supply chains, or there's another situation like 2020 where global supply chains are disrupted, Intel had the advantage of producing everything themselves in internal supply chains, and that would give them a lot of reliability. And then on top of that, unlike NVIDIA and AMD at the moment, Intel could get out a ton of GPUs. But they waited a little too long and they released their GPUs just as the little like GPU shortage had ended. So that's why you don't hear that much about them. But the A770, right? 16 gigabytes of VRAM, arguably comparable to about a 3060 Ti when it was released. And when it was released, it was worth like what, $250? I think it goes for about $300 now. So just again,
Ren is a very good boy. And Fetch is cute.
Oh dear. No, nobody said that. This is...
I just
you
said
are
that.
cute.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say it too. Fetch keep.
Keep here.
But yeah, A770 Intel card, really cheap. Like, okay, $300 is still expensive, but $300 for a 16 gigabyte card. That when it was released, mind you, like the 30s, 60s at the time were going for like $500, and this card was releasing for like $250, $300. That's a big price difference, really big. And when you're talking about like the 7800 XT having 16 gigabytes of VRAM, but it costs $500, and this card offers as much VRAM for $300. There's a real lower tier market that can be held. That's if it's done very smartly. Like a lower tier GPU doesn't need ray tracing features because you're not gonna ray trace with a card on that low end. The performance is just too bad. I've run ray tracing on an RTX 3060 and I get like 20 FPS, and then I switch it back to rasterize and I'm back to a smooth 60. Not really the point of that card. You design it smartly, you target smartly, and you can reach very low price points of very good cards. And on laptops, they're exactly what you want on a laptop, because most of the time the GPUs for PCs are upsold. Like they're sold at much higher margins. Whereas if you see a GPU on a laptop, you're arguably often getting a better deal for lower end GPUs. And that's where you see like, oh, look at this 3060 we put on a laptop. It's just running a bit slower with a little less VRAM, but it's still fundamentally a 3060. And it's like in $1,000 laptop, and you add up the components, and it's like, wait, hold on, this GPU is costing like $300 here, and at the time it was costing like $500. And literally, like laptop GPUs were just cheaper, even though it was basically the same GPU. So the PC market is incredibly skewed in a really weird way right now with the lower end GPUs, and I'm hoping Intel releases a banger series because they're announcing their next series of GPUs probably very soon.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
Yeah, Battle Mage is what I think they're calling it.
I think they're just trying to figure out all the kinks of the first GPUs.
I mean, yeah. Arc released in a really bad state because again, it released at the end of the shortage.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of driver issues, but I know they've been working them all out for a few years, and it's gotten a lot better.
Like I said, it just takes time because they're in a new market for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it just takes time, and they're just figuring out how it all works.
The thing I want from them, and this is what's critical to me. So like, at first I thought of AMD as like, I wish their GPUs were better, so that Nvidia would lower prices and I could buy an Nvidia GPU. Whereas
oh my god!
Well, yeah, because that's what I wanted fundamentally. And nowadays, I want Nvidia.
That is definitely a very fair want, because when it comes to all these companies, they're just having the simple ability to see more competition means prices lower.
Okay, that's what you're going for.
Products get better. Prices get lower, products get better. That's the way capitalism should be working. Granted, most of the time it doesn't work that way.
Because they just outright buy them.
Yeah.
And that's why fundamentally, like, I've kind of shifted my thinking, because I used to think of AMD as like, I wish they would do better so that the competition will work, whereas now I'm like, I hope they do better, because I bought their GPU, and I've been happy with it. I have not regretted it. And that was my fear with AMD, that I would regret it and go like, oh damn, I wish I bought an Nvidia. And right now, I know Intel is still in a really tough spot, because the mentality for most people is that they hope Intel releases a good product so that prices come down, not so they can buy it. But I think if they put on a very good performance, very good pricing, they could still net a really big win this generation. And it's really gonna like affect this next coming month, because basically if Battle Mage is a really good offer, I think it will affect Nvidia and AMD's pricing and offers, which is good for like everyone else. Bad for Intel, but good for everyone else, because, you know, if Intel goes like, hey, look, we actually released a good product at a good price, and AMD and Nvidia go like, oh damn, we should do the same, and then they do it, you know, Intel's gonna get shafted, because everyone wants to buy AMD and Nvidia, not Intel. But if they offer a good product at a good performance, and AMD and Nvidia keep being themselves, this could like genuinely be Intel's race to take on the lower end GPU market, which is a market that has been ignored for way too long. I really want them to succeed so that come the time when I buy a new GPU, I can be like, Intel actually looks like a good GPU offering. I kind of want to buy. I want them to get to that point so that I can recommend it to my friends and be like, yo, you should look at the Intel GPUs. They're actually really good. So I do that now confidently with the AMDs because I've been through it. It's been good. I feel confident recommending them. I didn't feel before, now I feel. Intel, the only reason I'd recommend an Intel is if you need to build a second PC to like process videos. Intel's actually a really good lower end GPU to just stuff into a video processing machine or video editing machine. It can encode and decode videos really good. That's about it. I don't know why I'd recommend Dark. It's just not that good. Unless you need a ton of VRAM. So,
I'm gonna jump in.
you're not
You'll have
I
fun.
We never get to
See
see
ya,
you
Fetch.
anymore.
I'm always in chat.
Fine.
bad.
Have a
Sorry.
good night.
Have a good night. Oh
Alright,
shoot.
Yep.
Be right back
Hey!
real quick, gonna start my laundry.
Okay.
Keep forgetting.
You're cute.
What?
You're cute.
No lies.
Cute.
No, he very much is.
Good boy.
Do I have to get them to sing happy birthday again?
It's not gonna affect me now. I'm expecting it now. I'm ready for it mentally. Also, it's almost over. I'm looking at the clock.
I really wish I had have been like able to see your face when.
I genuinely think you would have seen me go red. Unironically, fully. Oh, you know what?
It was adorable.
Maybe one of these years.
You'll
I
probably
will.
be able to do that next year.
But I will hold it against you for making me like stew.
I'm back.
I was just brewing while waiting. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Lovely.
Hi, Raijin.
Alright.
Mwah.
And all this started because I just want to know the RAM that I need.
It doesn't take much for GipCap.
I feel like I should feel offended by that. Okay, just like talking, okay? I like sharing. Also, I'm being an ant.
I enjoy this conversation, to be honest, because like I just learned a whole freaking lot.
Yes, Ren, you're very enjoyable.
Sweet.
Wee.
Also, real quick, you know that game I mentioned for the ants, like yesterday?
Yes.
So I gotta give it credit. I literally just began playing it. Like I put it on pause while I ranted, and I went like, okay, maybe I should get back to it. I gotta give it credit. I'm actually kind of. It's kind of interesting me. You actually are just a man. What the fuck? Is this kinda
Well,
wild?
yeah, isn't that the whole point?
Yeah, it's funky. Also, today I learned that ants can jump up to 5 times their own body length.
Yeah?
You know, a little 2-centimeter ant can jump like 10 centimeters, which is kind of wild. Because, like, that doesn't sound like much, but, like, if you're, like, 5 foot tall, imagine being able to jump, like, 25 feet. I guess in the long jump. It's wild.
So I've got some new earbuds. How's my voice quality?
Definitely a bit louder. I'd have to hear it a bit more to say whether it's, you know, better or worse. Might be on par, I think. Hi, Regin. You know, if you want to come join Voice, Regin, you're welcome to. Just jump into the waiting room on the Discord.
Okay, that's going to be very confusing for me if I have to hear that.
You just have Raijin and Raijin. Raijin.
Yeah, we've got a lot of ours. Oh my god.
Oh no! Oh no! I shouldn't have done that.
You could hear the instant flicking.
Ah, no worries. Hope you feel better soon, though.
We could have.
Let's go deal with these frickin' dragons.
You could have Rai, Ren, Raj, and Ra.
And Rex?
Rude. It's like we're vocal speed running the letter R.
Master, why do you keep getting so many R names?
Where you need to change your name to like Brownie now.
Instead of Weirney, it could be Rareny.
Rareny. We call them Rareny because a person like that is rare. One of a kind.
And then if we have Wicked Whiskers, we're just Super Scooby-Doo.
Oh my god!
The beasts are still asleep and the spiders are nowhere to be seen. Never mind, this game is terrifying all of a sudden. Oh no.
I have obtained a beast of great evil. I now have a dire penguin.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you had a duck, but I guess it's kind of similar.
What's wrong, Ren?
I keep failing this frickin' jump!
Azure, we're talking about evil, not like the devil.
Is there a difference?
Yes.
Ren, it's not a failure, it's a success in progress.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I am so good. I have good self-control when I'm holding my controller.
Hmm? Hmm.
Because I do have tilt moments. I do. But I hold it in because I'm holding my controller and I don't want to break it. Because this controller that I bought is not cheap. So, yeah. And that's one of the main reasons why I buy good controllers, because I know, like, okay, I should actually respect the product I bought. Because if I
Oh,
just
is that why Zim buys good collars?
A wild ass connection I wouldn't have expected, but it makes way too much sense.
He has to respect his property.
Let's just say I can tug really hard.
Well, listen, Zim, if you're a little bit busy, I'm happy to hold Ren's leash so that he doesn't get too tilted. Just imagine me right there, Ren.
we've sent him nonverbal. What a good boy.
I love Black Friday. This is a very fulfilling experience.
Now the only thing is, even though this is probably the easiest thing to put in a computer, I am scared touching the interior of a computer, even if it's a RAM stick.
That's totally fair. What scares you?
That even if I touch it, I'm gonna break it apart.
And probably, well, the only thing that you're really running a risk of doing if you touch it is discharging some static electricity, which, as long as you're touching some metal somewhere, it's not really going to happen. But the concern is absolutely understandable.
If you don't feel comfortable, that's honestly totally fair. Nothing wrong with that. I know, like, even I got, one of my friends sent me a video to, like, occasionally she'll send me, like, torture videos, and this time it was, like, a guy who was trying to replace his RAM, and, like, the bottom of the RAM slipped to the side when he was trying to push it in. And it was like, oh no.
Oof.
Yeah. And I remember the next time I opened the computer, I was slightly nervous, and I went, "Wait, why am I slightly nervous? I've done this dozens of times," and I just popped out the RAM. I was like, ooh. Momentary little like spike of. Ooh. I was considered. I literally do that like all the time. I switch up discs and RAM all the time. It's just like, well, I don't switch RAM that often. But it's not hard.
It's even though it's freaking easy, like, but do I want to pay somebody to do it for me? It's like,
So see, that is where I think you genuinely just have to add up number. How much is it worth it for you? If you're paying someone, say, $100 to swap out RAM,
This is why you just have a friend that'll do it for you for free.
Yeah, and if you don't, I mean, do you have a friend who will like watch you on a Discord call who'll do it, like help you do it, or guide you through it?
I can help with that.
you can, Master?
Yeah, I've built lots of computers.
Oh. Well, that actually makes me so much more better, actually. Instead of being on my own, like, am I doing this correctly?
Yeah, I bet Zim would love watching you.
God freaking!
Got him.
But yeah, no, that would actually make me feel a lot better doing it,
Like the
to be
mighty
honest.
dragon does.
That's why I figure I recommend that idea. I know, like, whenever I had people like do PC stuff that they felt uncomfortable with, like, not even me. I haven't like gotten it for anyone. I have a friend who has done the PC stuff for most of my friends, and oftentimes she'll be like in the call with them, like guiding them step by step.
Why the forlorn sigh, little weasel? Is everything okay?
No, everything's fine. It's just that I've been thinking because I never built computers.
Hey there, Key. How you doing?
Oh,
Hi,
sorry.
Key.
Hi, Key.
I hope your day went okay, Key. I saw you, I get it. I'm right there with you.
What happened?
Key works retail.
Ah, fair enough.
Oh, yeah, yep. That's all you have to say. But yeah, I never built my computers. I always have retail do it for me, especially when it comes to motherboards. Heck no, I'm not gonna do that on my own.
So yeah, actually, like I actually fully support that. So the good thing about building a computer is that, assuming you're using relatively standard parts, just normal modular stuff, normal standard parts, you can essentially do a little instruction list and get it done like relatively easily. The thing that I found myself like nervous about is the little details. So like, how tight do I screw this? Having like either someone who already knows that, or having a guide open. Like if you're looking at a computer and you look up like, hey, how do I install this CPU? Or how do I use this motherboard? Sometimes they'll each have like little thingies here and there. So like these certain types of CPU coolers. I think during a few generations ago, Intel CPU coolers, I believe, you couldn't tighten them too much because otherwise you'd crack the motherboard, and it ended up fixing that. But for a time, I was like, okay, don't tighten it too much, but tighten it just enough, and that was a thing that made a lot of people nervous. So sometimes, depending on those little things, those little extra details, they can matter. Or like, for example, depending on what kind of CPU cooler you get, sometimes it's easier to just do the RAM first and then the CPU cooler. If you're doing like a water cooling and it's really not obstructive, you can do it in either order. It can depend on the case. So like, it might be easier to like work with a case a certain way or the other. And those are the little things where like it's harder to get instructions for. But if you're just working off of like a basic, okay, this is how you kind of should go about, this is kind of a general order, and then you kind of have someone there just to supervise and like, oh, you're gonna do this now. Hey, well, okay, so when you're doing the RAM, make sure you push it in evenly on both sides. Don't push it to the sides. Just make sure you grab it like with one finger on each side and then push with the index finger on the top until you hear a very soft click on either side. Just make sure the little locks are engaged. Good to go. A little instruction like that goes a very long way towards helping someone feel comfortable with that.
So
Exactly. That's why I'm kind of like, there's nobody that I know who does computers around me. I'm alone. I'm by myself, and I am scared.
man, if my car were in better condition, I would be so tempted to just drive over. Like, it's only a couple of hours. That's so doable if it weren't for the fact that my car is a piece of junk. But this Black Friday, we've been selling Pokemon cards. And the way Black Friday at Walmart works now is you can pre-order online, and you can either do delivery or pickup. So you get like early access if you're doing it online and you're a Walmart Plus member. So you can do it before Black Friday actually happens. And the Pokemon cards that we've been selling, so far between yesterday and today, a singular person has bought $2,500 worth of Pokemon cards.
Gee.
From our store alone. I assume they're buying from other stores too.
Gosh.
I don't know what to say about that. I really don't know what to say about that.
You know what?
I hope they enjoy their cardboard, because that's all it is.
I say, I don't know enough about the person's situation. So hey, maybe they have like 300 grand in the bank and they just don't know what to do with it. They decide to buy Pokemon cards for all their nieces. I don't know. You never know what these kind of people are up to.
If you
They
have
could look at
300 grand in the bank and you don't know what to do with it, I would recommend looking into this thing called philanthropy.
No, just give it all to me.
It's also quite possible that they are looking at it as a investment.
You know there's going to be unboxing videos on YouTube from them. I know their name. I could probably look it up. And the scary part of that whole thing is it's entirely possible that they're getting more out of advertising for that kind of thing than they spent on the Pokemon cards.
Probably.
Advertising is the one true sin.
Modern economy is the one true sin. It is pain.
Anyway, I was gonna say, so these new earbuds, they're normally $30. I got them for $10 because the Black Friday price. And I definitely want to know how they're doing because one of the problems with wireless earbuds, at least the way I use them overnight, is no matter like what model, no matter how expensive it is, I have encountered the issue where eventually they just start having battery problems because I cycle the batteries so much from heavy usage. They only last like maybe a year, that for me. So if these $10 earbuds are good, like the audio quality is okay, but if they're good for call and the battery lasts okay right now, might buy like 2 or 3 just to have for the future in case things happen.
I'd certainly say they're sounding good.
Did he?
What's up?
No, that was rare normal.
Oh, okay. About to say, like, did Raijin leave or?
It looks like it's picking up more background noise though, so maybe I'll
I,
switch to Chris.
I haven't really noticed it, honestly. Like, it's somewhat there, but basically we are hearing things from your end, but it's not that loud.
Well, I see my microphone activating, and I'm definitely concerned about that because like whenever whenever the intercom goes off or stuff or the radio is playing loudly, I don't want that thing coming through. I don't want you to get copyright struck because I'm listening to Walmart radio.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Hey, Zim.
Mwah.
Aw.
Also, it is going well, Key. Just kind of, I'm having a lot of things happen in the game right now that I am trying to get under control.
Oh, I bet you just love our talk about the entire thing then, so you didn't have to focus on that.
Yes, it has actually been very helpful. Because I can focus on dealing with all of this nonsense.
So yeah, Raijin, GibGab been helping me with the whole RAM situation that I'm having. And then getting a better RAM and knowing which ones I need to get.
Good night, Era. And yes, Whiskers is very cute and amazing.
Good night, Era.
Night, Era.
Whiskers cute. Oh, they have bought so many plastic containers. Why do you need this many plastic containers?
Is it the person that bought all the Pokemon cards? Cause
It's a 26-pack of plastic containers, the Rubbermaids, and they have bought 7 of them. So, like, 170 plastic containers? What do you need these for?
alright, we've got another infestation to deal with. Though, I think that one can maybe wait? Well, no. But I do want to go take the fight to this dragon up here, because he is being annoying.
How dare Arabane be annoying?
Nah, this one's not Araban.
Right,
Yeah,
do you
so-
know... Oh, so, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Ron. I was just going to ask you about your RAM.
So, do you want to know which motherboard I have, GibGab?
I mean, sure. I don't
All
force
right.
the final decision too much, but sure.
Alright, give me one moment. Again.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many free cities on this map. What the heck?
You get a free city. You get a free city. But not you. You get these.
I definitely see that there is a lot of discussion I'm going to have to go over in the Scar Dev.
Oh? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Sorry for dropping some walls of text.
Oh.
It's my fault.
No.
Yeah, you can blame me.
But why would I blame you if it's not your fault?
Because I can handle the blame, and then that means no one else gets blamed. Haha.
Seems like a solid strategy. You know, I never thought of ants as cute, but the more I stare at them, the more I think they're actually really cute.
Sent it.
Thank you.
Ants are basically just a bunch of cute balls with little whiskers.
Yeah, kind of. I'm slowly finding them more and more cute. It's kind of funky. This is my favorite part of like doing computers. It's going to look at computer manuals. Just like the nerdiest thing I could possibly say, but I love looking at computer manuals or part manuals.
I mean, hey, maybe that's one of the reasons why you love building computers, because you can read the manuals like, oh, that's why this works.
Sorta. I don't actually build that many computers. I'm also just like the usual thing I end up doing is like, okay, what do you need? A new thing and like a new. You need an SSD, or you need a change or something in here, maybe cleaning, that kind of thing. Usually, it's pretty. Bleh. Yeah. Okay. So it's fine. Wait. You said it only has 2 RAM slots.
Yeah, that's what I
This says it
think.
has. This has 4.
Most motherboards should have 4 to more than 4.
Oh, wait, no, it does have 4. Whoops, my
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I have not seen a single modern RAM or motherboard with only 2 slots.
I've seen some around, but they're usually.
Yeah, like what are you running, a Celeron?
It was hot. It was hiding behind the RAMs. That's why I couldn't see it. The empty slots. Whoops.
Well, usually I see it for like a smaller or budget motherboards, and I'm usually a person that I wholeheartedly believe saving money on the motherboard can come down to just picking like what you need. Usually, you don't need like the highest SKU motherboard, unless you're looking for something specific, unless you're looking for a specific kind of I/O, because your motherboard tends to be one of the things you least upgrade until you really need to. So there's not real reason to go for like a B690 instead of like a B650. But if you get a higher tier, because I know you said you like spend on a good motherboard, that's why I'm like, I've been thinking this entire time like 2 slots. That's really funky. I mean, sure. I guess if it's an older one. When you said you had a 10th gen, like when I saw you had a 10th gen, I was like, okay, maybe it's just one of those like older CPU things. But I stare at you and I'm like 4.
Yeah, no. I look at it again like, oh wait, no, they're hidden. Whoops.
I mean, on the plus side, that means you could literally just look for the RAM you have and just buy another 16 sticks, and it should work fine. Because if it already works fine, you know. Well, 2 16 sticks, yeah. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, sadly, I don't think this motherboard can do DDR5 though.
No,
I think.
you also want to swap motherboard for like support for the new Ryzen CPUs,
Yeah.
which I will admit have been surprisingly good. Like, I know Intel keeps kind of getting left behind in the dust, but like, jeez. Ryzen CPUs are getting really good. It's kind of terrifying. I open mine up every now and then, and I'm like, oh, you know, I bought a 7600, and I open it up occasionally, right? And I was running a like 8-core CPU on the laptop I have because it's like a 4900 HS, I think it was 5900 HS. So it's an 8-core CPU, and the problem is that it runs really, really hot. Like that CPU likes going burr, and the entire laptop goes burr. And the problem is like because it shares a heating solution between the CPU and the GPU. Sometimes the CPU runs really hot, and it'll actually like choke out the GPU's cooling capabilities. So I actually have to like force the CPU to run cooler and crank up the fans a little more. And I have like a very weird configuration where I'm actually underclocking the CPU and overclocking the GPU. And then I open this up, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that laptop CPU is running like 8 cores and it blasts at like 4.3 gigahertz. This shit's running 4.7 gigahertz, and it's comfortable. Computer's not even warm. This CPU is a little monster. And then I see my GPU at 100% because I cranked up the settings on the ant game. I love seeing my GPU be at 100% usage. It makes me happy. And it makes me even happier that it's only at like 60 degrees Celsius. And a massive CPU cooler. And for like the CPU I have, it's just like, yes. I do not even want water cooling. I just bought a nice, good, cheap air cooler for like $20. And it does the trick perfectly. CPU almost never goes above 60 or 70. Even when I try to overclock and run it a little hotter. Usually crashes before I get a
Why do you need a cooler when you can just flap your wings?
Sorry, I couldn't understand that one.
But yeah, I don't need a DDR5. I think DDR4 is still good as it is.
Well, it doesn't. Your motherboard doesn't support DDR5.
Yeah.
I don't know. The one thing I was checking, if anything, is if you look up your motherboard and you go to the page for the motherboard and you go to your tech specs, it'll actually tell you the memory in there. It'll tell you like 4 DIMM. That's why I knew that at 4. Maximum of 128 gigabytes for DDR4. And it specifies all the different overclock SKUs that it supports. So here, I can send you a screenshot of what I mean.
Go ahead.
You'll, like on memory, you'll see a bunch of numbers. Between 4800 down to 26, which is like 2600. I just shortened it for some reason. All of those are the different RAM overclocks that it supports, and the baseline, which means it supports 2933, 28, 2666, 2400, 2133 natively, which is what Intel supports. Like your CPU natively supports 2933, but it can run overclocked RAM. Like most CPUs can. You'll most likely find 32, 34, 3600 DDR4 if you're looking for the cheaper end of DDR4. In fact, if you look at your task manager on your memory, you'll see what your memory is running at right now, the speed. It'll be right below. You'll see the memory, the available number, and slightly to the right, you'll see speed, slots used, form factor, and hardware reserve. The first one, speed, is what we're looking for. It'll be something MT per second.
So, wait, repeat again, I'm sorry?
So if you go to Task Manager, under
Yes.
Performance and Memory, you'll see the available number at the bottom.
You said it at performance?
Yeah, in Task Manager, Performance,
Yes.
and Memory.
Memory, okay.
And you'll see at the bottom left, Available.
Okay.
To the right of Available is Speed.
2400.
Okay, you're running 2400, that's a little slow.
This dragon is going to be destroyed.
Good. All dragons should get destroyed. They should get wrecked.
So, should I get a better RAM though? For the speed than what I'm using?
Do you know what RAM you have right now?
No, do not.
Let me see where so that I could find. I always forget the thing. Give me a moment. Let me see if I can do this. Are you running Windows 10 or 11?
Windows 10.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba.
I'm just trying to really quickly find what the... Set it to fetch. I probably have it right there. Just never use that at work, so I always forget about its existence. But what I want is to really quickly find what RAM you have, because it's possible. So RAM runs natively at relatively low speeds, but we overclock RAM because it can run faster. RAM has a trade-off between where if you overclock it a lot, depending on the RAM stick, depending on your CPU, on like different configurations in your computer, overclocking it can lead to instability. So we find a sweet spot where you overclock your RAM as much as you can before it starts to become unstable. So for example, DDR4 can be pushed all the way up to 4800, like you're running it at 2400.
Yeah.
Overclock can go up to 4800 for DDR4 memory. But So, for example, to use mine as an example, my RAM is capable of 6,000 megatransfer per second. It's DDR5. Runs natively at 4800. I can push it up to 5600. If I go above 5600, it starts to crash the computer every now and then. And the more I overclock it, the more it goes. Oh, blue screen. Whoops, not bad. And I sit there like fuming. I have to underclock it to 5600, otherwise it literally just keeps crashing too much for me to use it.
Hold on. Master, Kenku wants to know if he can join the voice call.
Yeah, go for it, Kenku. Story for a moment, guys?
Blessed be the light which burns inside the heart of the zealot, who channels the fire within and smites the wicked with wrathful flame. Fear not the scorching heat, for it purifies the corruption that resides within all. Wield the blazing sword, cast an inferno upon your enemies, and behold, where the flame has passed, only the faithful remain.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I'm checking is, depending on your RAM model, the number you see on RAM most often is what it'll overclock to. If you have a RAM model that we can set to like the overclock that it should be at, quote unquote, then you might be able to run like 3200 megahertz RAM. And also we'll know exactly what RAM it is, so we can see like if we can just get you more of that, or if we need to get you better RAM. So I don't want you to pay more for something you have to pay more.
Crack.
Hi.
Hi, Kenku.
New duck. Okay, we're not gonna touch that city at all for the time being because it's being completely destroyed by these frickin' infestation.
And I am so sorry, but I do not have the box for the RAM.
That's what I'm checking to see if I can find the model number through Windows.
Yeah, I had these RAM for a very long time. Like, oh, I'm never gonna need these again. Throw it away.
Well, you should think if there's a free program I think called CPU-Z. You could that also could get you your RAM information from that if it was in the system, but.
No, it's actually a viable option. I just tend to default towards not installing things anywhere.
True.
But actually, like, yeah, I have it installed on my computer. And it hasn't caused me any issues. No, it's in here somewhere. This is so frustrating. I should know this. Why don't I know this?
Alright, that's enough. War! He keeps just ignoring my territory and going into my space, so we're just gonna go destroy them.
Based.
Not to mention we have had plenty of incentives to destroy them to this point. Good night, Azure.
Good night, Asher. Tomorrow should be very quick and painless work.
You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, you just absolutely jinxed yourself there, Weasel.
No, I think I'm taking all the jinx right now.
I've threatened my coworker for saying that today is calm.
Well, the reason why is because they only have tomorrow they're letting us off early.
That grave is being dug
La-di-da.
deeper and deeper.
That's nice. So, my job would let me off early, but then it's like, I kind of need to. I kind of am hourly, so I gotta make the money. But it's always good at the same time.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, so, I mean, the best way to check what the RAM model is would be to open up the computer and look at if it has a sticker. Most RAM has a sticker indicating the part number of the model.
Yeah. I mean, if it's in the but yeah, if it's in the system, easiest to me, something like CPU-Z would be able to get you the info.
Does the XDIAG not show the RAM model?
The what?
The XDIAG?
Let me check, actually. I hate Windows 11 sometimes. Why is it perfectly functional?
Only sometimes.
It's fine. I don't think it does. Maybe I'm just missing it completely.
Okay, so there's a command, WMIC memory chip get device locator, comma serial number. Here, I'll send that to you, Ring.
Oh, thank you, because like, what?
You can follow along. I thought it was easy. See get. Oh, memory chip get device.
Oh, it's only one of them? Oh.
Doesn't
We'll
say,
just
yeah.
kill them.
Try that in command prompt.
And you said in the
Okay, press Windows R,
yes.
then type in CMD, then enter that command that I sent you.
CMD. Okay.
So
Me-
it opens up command prompt.
Yeah. So memory chip. Do I type get device locator too?
The entire thing,
Okay.
all on one line, then press enter.
Okay.
Yeah, feel free to send the screenshot of that. Oh, I might be able to pull it up.
There. Problem solved.
Got it. Thank you.
Also, it's very fitting that this guy is going demon because Razor likes to destroy demons.
Hey, I'm getting a screenshot right now. I'm gonna send it to you.
I like to kiss Razor. Mwah.
Mwah.
Here you go, Gib Gab.
I'll put the serial number. Hmm. Okay, it just says which RAM is in there's RAM in DIM slot A and B. For each one. Okay, which is fine. Could you try? Okay, can you just type WMIC?
Sure.
What's this? And then press enter and then type. Give me a moment. And just type this. And then just screenshot that.
Memory chip.
Yeah, I just need like that long thing that'll show up. It's a bunch of stuff. So the serial number I can't do much, but I'm pretty sure I found exactly what I'm looking for here.
And take another screenshot and send it to you?
Yeah. It's like a long thing. I'm looking for somewhere in the middle, so if you can just take a screenshot of the whole thing, that'll look perfectly.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Hey, Rin,
Yeah?
you're cute.
Oh, God, freaking.
Got it.
Why'd he leave?
Good question.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a bit small, sorry.
Nah, you're good. I kind of figured it'd be like this. All good. Okay, team group. Okay, yeah, perfect. So that's kind of what I was looking for. So you see under part number, it says team group UD4 3200.
Hold on, let me open it up.
All good. Basically, I'm pretty sure these RAM sticks can go up to 3200 megatransfers per second. But that would be a BIOS setting change.
And you're like a person who doesn't know computers at all.
You're good.
Yeah, please don't send Rin into the BIOS. That's like, So all we need to do is do a BIOS update.
Well, probably not even an update. You probably just need to enable. Oh, what's the name of the RAM overclock for Intel?
Oh,
By the way, this isn't just a fast boot problem, is it? Because that's like a common thing in Windows machines.
yeah, that's a
Yes.
common thing with. Yep.
If you build your own computer, it is a factory setting, and that's actually perfectly fine. It should be on factory so that you set it to the XMP profile that fits you. Like case in point, if mine was set to 6000 by default, I would have to change it back to like 5600. But because it was set to 4800 by default, I then sped it up to where I needed to. If you get shipped a computer and you never touch the BIOS, and that RAM is underclocked, it is the fault of whoever shipped you the PC because they did not go through the time and effort that you're paying them for. And that is bad practice. Anyway, look, the plus side is you probably just have to enable XMP. But that would be for a later thing. But
Yeah, because right now I need my RAM first.
yeah. I mean, if you have someone guide you through how to install RAM, I'm pretty sure they can also guide you through.
Have you tried going to downloadmoreram.com? I hear it works pretty well.
Yeah, I made that suggestion, but he kind of just ignored me.
Is it in my list?
It's like he doesn't believe me or something. I don't know why.
Oh, I wonder why.
wonder how much it would cost for me to fly to Houston.
Oh my god.
What?
Like, the thing is, I'm wondering the Rams I have, do they even sell them still?
Probably. If it's a Team Group 3200, they're probably on sale.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
no!
pretty much the current generation is DDR5, so.
I'm sorry, I am having a moment.
Okay.
This one person bought 4 times 190 washcloths.
How many?
Well, that's a lot.
190.
What, like, the catering something? Or?
Was this a mistake? $2 each. They spent 5. Do we even have this?
I think you're peeking your mic, Rudy.
I'm extremely unhappy about this.
Understandable.
I have to scan every single individual barcode twice for this.
What?
Oh my god.
That's ugh.
Alright.
Ew.
It's the way the system works.
Really?
I'm half tempted to call this person and make sure that they're okay.
I love when there's a serial number lookup and I type in the serial number and it just goes, your serial number doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I had these RAM cards a long time ago. So
They should still be around if only for warranty's sake, so that this all gets registered. I've looked up like ancient Dell serial numbers and don't necessarily know much that's why it's not there. Because the only other way this like could be different is if for some reason the serial number it's giving here is different from the serial number in the RAM stick and you need to actually pull a serial number from the RAM stick itself. Would be cursed. The funny thing is I actually have like the same brands and like I bought my RAM sticks from the same brand as you did.
oh wow.
They were really good offer on DD. It was like $80 for 32 gigs of 6,000 megatransfer per second DDR5 when all of them were worth above $100 at the time. I was like, ooh, money. I save money. I like saving money.
Well, I don't. I like to overly save money.
Yes, yes, he does. I have to order him to spend any money, otherwise he won't. He
Yep.
literally will message me, be like, will you tell me to buy this?
Exactly. I'm not joking.
You know, I can respect that like level of commitment to saving money. and willingness to spend.
I mean, I'm kind of the same way, except now I just throw all my money at other people.
I mean, I feel like most of my expense in this year have been like helping other people or doing things for other people and not just for me.
Speaking of RAM,
Oh,
because-
that's
oh,
fudge. Oh, they just stole one of my units from me. The bastards. Also, TF me more.
Okay.
I have been rabbit too long. But for those that haven't seen it, if you do exclamation point potion, you can actually see Ida's notes about all the different forms.
Yeah.
but yeah, because Apple does the things that Apple does. I'm currently considering buying like one of the cheap Chromebooks or something that we're selling for $100, just to have a device on the side that I set up solely for the purpose of having Twitch streams open, just to save the memory on my Apple device.
That's noted.
Oh.
Because I love the Apple Silicon architecture. I've had wonderful experiences with this CPU, but for some reason, Apple just doesn't like putting enough memory in their devices, and I don't understand it. Like, you're already the premium option. Why are you cheaping out on the memory of all things?
Because they could squeeze more money out of making you upgrade the memory, because no, you'll do it, because then that way, you spend more money on
Can
them.
you even do that? Do that with the?
No, they squeeze more money out of you by making you purchase larger hard drive space, which is kind of whatever to me, because to me, I'm just like, okay, I'll just use the cloud or something else. But
Well,
memory, like, it's so hard to upgrade, and they don't give you options for more memory. It's so weird.
Yeah, I could agree there. Jeez.
I mean, they also just overcharge on the memory. That's the most disgusting part, by like the amount that they do, like for both memory and storage. What is it? Their new Mac Minis, the price they'll charge to give you go from 512 gigs to 1 terabyte and to go from 16 gigs of RAM to 32 is the same that you could buy just 2 Mac Minis with 16 gigs and 512 gigabytes
So-
of SSD.
The M1 Mac Mini is actually the Apple device that I'm running, and I will admit, like, there are a lot of things that Apple does that I'm very upset about. Like, obviously, the vertical integration and the monopolistic practices that they utilize to, create that market where they overcharge is very frustrating. However, I will say this very happily. I've never had a better computing experience than on this M1. Like,
What, sorry?
and I haven't had a better computing experience ever than on this M1 Mac. Ever since, like, legitimately the Pentium 3 days, like, my experiences with Windows, even all the way back on XP, has never been as smooth and straightforward as on Apple. Which infuriates me, because there's a lot of things that Apple does wrong. But Microsoft just does that much more wrong.
I mean, it entirely depends on what the last Windows OS you tried was. I hate Windows, but
I've tried them all except for 11, Gab.
That's what I was gonna say.
I
'cause
haven't
actually-
seen it all.
So between 7, which I didn't use much, admittedly, 8 I did use for a while, 10 and 11, I actually kind of like 11 the most.
Really?
Part of it is just getting used to it. But the thing is, since upgrading from Windows 10 to 11, I've just not encountered any issues caused by 11. And if anything, 11 has just my computer runs smoother after installing 11 because my hardware likes 11. Like everything's just running cleaner.
Huh.
I gained like
That's
20% performance boost on some games just from installing Windows 11.
Like, let me put it this way. I am one of the few that has experienced in its entirety ME. I have
Maybe you
played with
deserve to
XP
have
a lot.
No, I'm sorry. If you
I have
experience
played
it,
with
maybe you
Vista.
do deserve to have a bad Windows experience. Maybe. No, I get you. I actually will fully understand that. I think in a lot of ways Apple does one thing right, and it's provide a good overall experience for the end user, putting aside a lot of their bad things. Like, if I just want to give someone a computer that just works and it probably won't give them any issues, and they're like a student that just wants to do stuff, like I will genuinely be like, oh, you know what? I'll just recommend you like buy, I don't know, a MacBook Air. I have zero qualms recommending them. 'Cause I actually think they're really good computers. Apple frustrates me, but their hardware is brilliant. Their hardware engineering is genuinely amazing.
Like I've done many Linux distributions. I've done Ubuntu. I've done Mint. I have built my own Arch distros. Like I am very worldly when it comes to operating systems. So I don't say this lightly. And it frustrates me because Windows should be the better option because they're much more capable for power users like me. Plus, the fact that things actually run on Windows as opposed to Apple where basically nothing works. But the sheer amount of troubleshooting that I have to do on a regular basis on any Windows or Linux machine, I just got tired. It was so exhausting to me that like every other week it's like, oh, this random thing broke and I don't know why. And it shouldn't have broken, but it did because Windows pushed an update that for some reason destroyed the drivers.
Classic. I love Windows.
Well, I sent you, Gab, I sent you the thing. Yeah.
I'm cool looking for it. Trying to figure out. Okay, it definitely has the serial number. I'm gonna cry.
Like I said, the RAM is old.
What the fuck, Team Group? Yeah,
So anyways, hello everybody.
Sorry that we kind of,
over everything.
yeah, with the vent and all that.
I am just incredibly angry about all of these freaking washcloths that I'm having to deal with. I
I offer hugs.
will take them. And I will run away with them. Mwahaha.
I mean, the only Windows I ever had issues with is Windows Vista. Or Vista, I should say.
I'll be honest. Vista was actually... I've definitely got weird Windows opinions, but Vista, it wasn't a good experience, but it was a funny experience. Like, once I got past the fact that it was a piece of crap, it was just funny.
Trying to use Windows Vista would probably give me a heart attack. I used Windows 7 the other day on a computer and I was lost.
So, Windows Vista is basically just Windows 7, but without some of the polish. But there were just some really weird glitches that would happen. In particular, I remember this one time where somehow I accidentally created a symbolic link of my documents such that it redirected itself to my documents in a buggy way that meant that I could never actually access my documents. So I just had this file directory that was totally dead for no particularly good reason. And it happened because, like, instead of double clicking, I accidentally did a click drag and Windows Vista just didn't like it. It's the weirdest thing that I've ever seen happen on a Windows machine. And I thought it was hilarious. Aside from the fact that I couldn't, access my documents.
For me, it was a Windows update on Vista. Like, I was stuck in this horrible loop every time I update. And it just never goes away. Never. It just kept going and going and going and going and going.
And going and going and going.
Don't worry, Ray.
So,
Once you're collared, you'll be stuck in a different kind of.
So, it seems that raising a city that you already own does not let you actually get the bonus. I'm not able to actually get the bonus population in one of my cities from it.
That would be kind of fun. Like, hey, let me burn down my own city. Do I get a bonus for it?
I thought that's how it worked.
There might be another type, you know.
Apparently, it is not how that worked.
Yeah. I'll just go raise other people's cities. Easy.
All right. Unfortunate update.
Hmm?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am 44 washcloths short.
You're what, sorry?
I can't find the washcloths that this person ordered me. And this is a huge problem.
So what are you supposed to do now?
Well, step 1, I tear down this entire display of towels and washcloths to see if they're hiding somewhere. Step 2, I cry. Step 3, I contact the market manager.
It sounds like you have a plan, at least. Probably. Also, really quickly, Red. Okay. So, because I simply can't find anything, no matter how hard I've tried to look, and at risk of just not wanting to like give you anything that's wrong, the two things I would recommend doing are just ask for 4 16 gig sticks or 2 32, whatever's cheaper. And alternatively, you could open the side panel of your PC, see if you can take a screenshot of the information of your RAM. Usually it'll have a little sticker on the side with all the information of it. And just take that to Micro Center and tell them, hey, can I just get more of this? And if they say no, then ask if they have a trade-in or something, and maybe you can arrange something there. But
Hey
probably
there.
not, so you probably just keep that spare.
Hey there, Rowan and Kai. No, this is Age of Wonders. Though, I'm gonna go ahead and switch games here. Ugh. I think
Yeah.
I've done enough of this one.
I am pretty sure I'm just gonna ask him if I can get either the 4 16 gigs or 2 32 gigs of RAM. Just make it easier on myself.
The one thing you could do is...
So, thank you everybody for joining us so far on the stream today. This was Age of Wonders 4, though mostly with tech talk. But yeah, check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They are on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I could not do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to help out the channel, though you can also do so by commissioning one of the artists that I manage for, grabbing packs of cards through Streamloots, or by subscribing to us over on YouTube as well as Streamloots. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye bye.
Bye.